Ben with Super Pump Business Podcast. One of the biggest disconnects in most businesses that I see is this idea of pathways to promotion. In businesses, most people in the C-suite, the executive suite, and particularly in HR, think that they have a clear process for how an employee would go from wherever they start in your organization to move up through the ranks. But the reality is, when you talk to the managers of those employees or the specific employees, they have no idea how to get from where they're going. So one of the things you want to do if you want to retain those really high achieving employees, or even just above average people and not lose them to a competitor, is create pathways to promotion, that next step in their career. So the first thing you want to do if you want to create pathways to promotion, you want to teach specific skills. So you want to say, hey, employee Joe, I know you're here right now, but if you want to get to the next level, here are the skills you need to acquire. These are some retrainings you can do. We got a quarterly in-service on that, or we've got a conference you can go to, or maybe there's some computer-based training. You can complete these modules and we'll have you primed for that next step. The other thing is you can do coaching. So that's a really big one. A lot of times there's a heart for people to move up, but they have no idea how to do it. They need someone to help them, which also leads to mentors. Mentors are critical, particularly for certain disadvantaged groups. Having those mentors within your business is going to pay huge dividends. At MIT, the Sloan School has done tons of work on this topic. And one of the things they found, 63% of workers who left their company in 2023 did so because they saw no pathway to promotion. Everybody in HR, everybody in the executive suite and the leadership's like, yeah, we got promotional paths. But the reality is the employees don't see it. It wasn't operationalized for them. It has to be drilled down. The other thing they found was if it's DIY, it's never going to get done. Employees are struggling, particularly at the lower ends, with just all the aspects of the job and life and kind of what's going on. You've really got to spell it out. Here are the steps you need to take to be considered for the next promotion. Then the third thing you've got to do, you can talk all day about pathways to promotion, but if every time there's an open position, you go outside the organization to fill that, you know what that does to your existing employees? It completely devalues them and they start polishing up their resume. You want to promote from within. That is critical. You want the good workers that you have to take it to the next level with you. And that really encourages everybody, because if this person gets promoted up to here, then somebody backfills their position, so they're getting promoted, and then somebody down the line even further is getting promoted. So it begins to lift everybody up. Now, one question I'm asked is, okay, that sounds great. Let's promote from within. What happens if you have 2 or 3 different applicants within your existing structure? And you give it to candidate A, they get promoted, and candidate B and C are still where they're at. Communication is critical in this. And this is why coaching and mentors are a part of this process. So if you pick employee A for that promotion within, you need to tell employee B and employee C, hey, listen, you didn't get it this time, and then you double back. But if you'd work a little harder on acquiring these skills that A actually went and got, then you're going to be there the next time. The other thing is, and we saw this in our cleaning business in particular, let's say we had a large crew at a big account, right? And we promoted employee A to shift lead, or maybe the whole crew leader, right? And employee B and C are like, now I'm stuck. A's just got that promotion, but you can cross within your company. So we would say to B and C, hey, you're not quite there. We need to work on this and this, but we have $2 million out there in bids and proposals right now. And we see a role where if we land those, which we are confident we are going to, we're going to be able to plug you in if you add these skills. If you want to keep your best employees, if retention is important to you, if slaying the turnover dragon is important to you, and saving all that money and building a better company, promote from within and build pathways to promotion. And if you do that, you are going to have a happier, more productive, and more profitable workplace. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a super pumped day. If you need more resources, go on over to superpump.com or hit me up, book an appointment. Let's talk about your particular company. Let's dig in and let's figure this thing out. See you next time. If you enjoyed today's show, I have 2 quick next steps for you. First, subscribe or follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. And second, jump on over to superpump.com to find out all the incredible ways we can help you launch your super pumped business. Keep well, and I'll see you next time.